Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Let me get rid of the waiting room and then we can get started. Right. How's everyone doing? So you're going to have the chat box in the bottom right-hand side, or that's where it is for me. Hey, everyone. So how this is going to work is I'm going to go through the pairs that I'm looking at today, EG, EU, GU, and also the DXY, and then figure out from there the analysis for the day and for the week moving forward. And of course, any potential trades that we can look to get today. So how's everyone doing? Where's everyone from? Finally back. Yes, Emad. Well, we've got 138 people on so far. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Right. Sorry I was a little bit late. Okay, so let me do this now again. Obviously, you can ask questions as I go through. This is the free call. Live morning calls do start again on the 1st of Feb, which is Thursday. Every single morning, 7:30 till 8 a.m. before London Open. Cool, right. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. So let's have a look. Let's go for... Cool. So I'm going to start with the DXY. The reason we start with the DXY is because if we have strength on the DXY, then it means that we're likely going to have weakness on the EU and GU, and then obviously vice versa. If we have weakness, then we should have strength on EU and GU. Let's bring the chat box up as well so I can see what's going on. Cool. So this is previous analysis given to obviously all the members and live morning calls previously. So just want to talk through what's going on. It's a new year, see where price action is going and what we're likely to expect. You can see that we're making lower lows, lower highs. Obviously to the downside, made that lower low. Then we broke structure to the upside here, meaning that we have that bullish momentum. Now, our ultimate point of interest in imbalance fill is in this area all the way up here. So what I am looking for, as soon as we can break through this 50 EMA on the weekly, is see if we can start to get a move back up into those highs. Now, again, this could take weeks and weeks and weeks, but it does just give us that understanding of where price is likely to go. So at the moment, you can see we had a big bullish move. I was talking about previously on the weekly breakdowns, price coming in to retest this area and then moving higher, which of course, obviously we have done, but we are currently being capped. So I'm just waiting for, like I said, a snap through to then move higher. Let's have a quick look on the daily. Daily, we are already above. So for those that don't know how the EMA works, is obviously it's a dynamic area of support and resistance. When we break through, we normally retest it and then continue higher. We are going to break through first on the 4-hour, then the daily, and then that's going to transcend into the weekly as well. So on the basis that we've now got the break, I would like to see price move higher on the DXY. So what does that mean for our pairs? I just want to check as well. Can everyone hear me? I see a few people in there saying that they can't. If you can't hear me, it'll be your settings. So just check them your end. So first thing I'm going to start with, let's go to GU, right? And we're going to go higher time frame. Now, you can see I've got loads of alerts in this area. Let me clear some now because it's getting a little bit messy. Right, on the basis that, again, this is the direct opposite to what happened on the DXY. We have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And then we've had a snap of this area, meaning that we've made a lower low on the weekly on the basis that we've now broken this. So when we've made a lower low on the weekly, we have 75% chance of price making a lower high. And you can see this is our OB, our point of interest, that was left behind that I've had marked up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably about 12 weeks. And this is where price is slowing down. So we want to now see if we can get a snap from this area as well for price to start to come to the downside, something along these lines. And that's what we've been looking for really for quite some time. So if I just now move over to, so now we know what's going on the higher time frame. The entry time frame is, or I would say our intraday analysis time frame is the 15-minute. Everyone staying with me, yeah? And someone's put, how do we use these calls? You use these calls by understanding, marking your areas up the same as I've got my areas. And then when price comes to those areas, we look to take those trades and execute those positions. So at the moment, you can see we are in this consolidation area between this low and this high. And I've got our point of interest at the high, which is the OB void that we have here. Just missed that high. And then we have the low as well, with obviously the first void and OB in that leg. And you can see as well, so far, we've just missed that high. Now, in my opinion, we have filled Asia here. We fill this Asia range. We fill this Asia range. So the first thing that we are looking for in the morning is price to come and fill this Asia range. Now, in my opinion, right, we do have an OB that we've opened in right here. Add this on. So ordinarily what we want to see, let me just draw this just so you're fully aware, is let's say that this is our Asia range. We've got something like this, right? Price is coming down to this area like this. And let's say we've opened in, again, either an OB down here, or we've got one down at the low, wherever it is. So we want to try and see if we can find that lower time frame break of structure, then look for the retest to take price higher, right? So that's our first port of call for this. Now, because we have our point here and our point at the low, what I would advise, my view is that so far, if we break through this area, we're coming to this, and this would be the better position for a trade from, because this is the ultimate low. And you can see we've got a load of stops sat below all of these lows where people have been taking long positions. So there is every reason for price to come and snap down to this. So I'd be a little bit cautious of this area. If you want to be a lot more aggressive, if you want to look for your lower time frame break structure, ideally on your 1 minute, you want to see the break, pull back to then go long. You want to be covering this low. However, what's the reason you could lose if price just pops down to this one? So I'm going to see how price plays out on London Open. But ideally, the first of my two favorite trades on GU would either be price coming down here, then getting the break to then bring price to the highs. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, cool. So that's our first potential. Then if we now look at, say we just have an immediate explosion higher and we don't get any opportunity for a lower time frame break structure, that then makes this area a potential target for a TP. So let's say we just start moving higher. So if we get a break of Asia high first, then we can look for the pullback to go long. Again, that's another option. Or, I hope you're all taking notes. If price comes up to the high here, I'll be looking for my lower time frame break to go short. And I do think that there is a really strong possibility of price coming up to that high, because again, on the opposite, we have that double top. So ideally, what I'm looking for is either price to come to the high for the short down to this area, or price to come down to this area for the long. So I've got a trade in either direction on GU. I just need to make sure that I can get my confluences. Any questions on that? Now, someone's put, would I not consider the OB above Asia from 2 days ago? So the only OB that we have above Asia is this one right here. There, I'm just going to mark it with the trend line. Well, that's where the imbalance starts. You could use that. However, in my opinion, this is the area that's created this move down. And then also as well, if we then come back up to what's been happening here, you can see all these wicks. Where have these come into? These have come into this ultimate high point right here. So you could look to get in a trade here, but you've got the same problem that you'd have down at this level. You could easily get wicked out, price hits this area, and then we fall out the sky. So that's why I'm looking at this high and this low. So someone's put, how do I choose which pair to trade every day? Well, I'm about to show you. So that is one potential. Now, let's go over to EU, which is likely going to be pretty similar. Bear with me a second. Got a lot of people waiting to get in. Let me admit everyone. So now the difference on EU is, you see, look, let me just show you. On GU, we do have a confirmed low point and a high point, whereas on EU, we have no confirmed low point. We're just making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, and so on. We do have this gap here that needs to get filled. We do still have this OB up to the high. Let's just have a quick look at the higher time frame as well. Now, the interesting thing on EU is look where we are. We've come to that 50 EMA. Now, I did say that I was looking for price to come into this OB, which I believe is a daily OB. Yeah. And then I was looking for some type of bullish reaction from here. So you see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Hit our area with perfection, by the way. Look at that. So now on the basis that we are in this daily OB, and then also the fact that we are on top of the 50 EMA, I'd be a lot more cautious for continued shorts on EU. Now, we know we need to come long to fill this Asia range up here. We also have the gap fill. So what I would actually be looking for is a break of structure to the upside to then look to see if I can get the pullback for a potential long position. Now, I'm just looking to see where our OBs are. We've got one here. We've got one down at the low as well. And the way I'm going to play this, I'm not going to look for, like we did on EU, I'm not going to look for price to come down to then do this. I'm actually going to try and look for a nice snap to the high, taking out this area. That's important to me, because if we just come up to this, all we're doing is just filling the gap, and then we may continue down. So what I would like to see is a break to the upside, and then see if I can get some type of pullback to then get the continuation trade up to this area, which would just be my target. Now, if for whatever reason I'm wrong, if we get a snap down on the lows like this, then obviously I can consider a pullback. However, I probably wouldn't take it, just because of the main reasons that I said on the higher time frame. That weekly 50 EMA is dangerous. And like you can see, look here, tap, explosion, tap, explosion. This thing could then fly back up to the highs, and then, of course, come and retest those previous areas of imbalance that haven't yet been mitigated. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? No, cool. Okay, so out of those two pairs, my favorite is GU. So that means I'm going to mark EU as a maybe. And then what I'm going to do now is go over onto EG to see if we have any potential on here for EG. Barath, when you say, can I show my indicators? You can get those. They're on my YouTube video. There's a full video breaking them all down, what the settings are. Haven't got time to go through them this morning. If everyone wants me to go through them in more detail on the live money course starting on Thursday, then obviously I'll do that. But just for this one, I'm just going to smash through the analysis. So on EU, what's everyone's view on EU? Are we bullish or bearish? Everyone's saying bearish. Sorry, EG. Thanks, Imad. Everyone's view on EG, are we bullish or bearish? Saying bearish. Everyone's saying bearish. Okay. Whatever Jaden is. Nice. Okay, Cash. Cool. Right. Very, very clear to me that we are super bearish. We've snapped this low. We've left our OB in imbalance up this high, and then made another low. Now, if we just zoom out slightly, you can see we have just been respecting these OBs and then falling to the downside. So what I'm looking for are shorts on EG. I'm not currently looking for a long position to come and smash the highs. If we look at the higher time frame, you'll see, look, we are definitely falling down to these lows. Let me extend this right here. I do still have this. I can get rid of this now. Don't need it. Do still have this area of imbalance right here, which the evening star that was created that hasn't yet been filled. So at some point, I do think price will come back up. However, given the bearish momentum that we've got at the moment, we have to follow obviously the trend. So my view is that we're going to come down to the low then we're going to have the bounce. And then at that point, I'll decide if I'm taking shorts or based on the price action, are we now going to start that move back up to the highs that we've been waiting for so long? So at the moment, based on what the high time frame looks like, we are below the 50 EMA. On the daily, we are below the 50 EMA as well. And let's look on the 4 hour. 4 hour, we are below. So very, very clear we are bearish. And you don't want to be going against this trend at the moment that obviously we've been in since the 2nd of January. Don't think you're better. I'm just going to try and preempt the massive long position. Stay with the trend at the moment because that's going to save your account getting wrecked. Now, so where am I looking to short from? So we know long term I'm short. This is the snap that created the new low. You can see I've highlighted, get rid of this. You can see I've highlighted it with my order block. This is where the void has started. So therefore we have Asia range to come and fill here. So we know that price should be coming long first. Asia range to come and fill. However, we do have one OB right there, but my view, and you can see I've got my alert on, is I want price to come up to this high. Then from this area, I'm going to look for my lower time frame confirmation, then to get a short down. And that will be even better with even more confluences if we don't come down and immediately fill Asia first. And you can see we are in that consolidation area since yesterday morning. Sorry, yeah, Monday morning, yesterday morning, meaning that we are waiting for a snap out of that area. Now, if we don't start to come up to the highs first and we have a snap down to the low, what type of position could I take? Jaden's put, if snaps the lows, we can then enter it on the OB. Already answered. Right, perfect. Yeah, so if we snap the low, Jaden's on it this morning. As long as we have an OB left at the high at the top of Asia, we can look for the pullback for the continuation short down. Now, your stops would have to be above this Asia. We can't cover any of this high. So if you're looking to take that position, just realize there is a possibility of moving a little bit higher. But again, there is no reward without actually being in the market. So if you see your confluences come in, you just need to take your trade. Cool. So again, what's my favorite? So favorites are EG and GU. And therefore, now I've got my alert on EG, I will then see which one goes off first, and that will be the trade that I will look to take. So just to confirm that, we come back. So I've got my 2 alerts on this area, one here and one here. And again, for all those that have done the course and understand the Asia range strategy, you can trade your Asia range as normal, looking for the fill first. And then obviously we can then move on to the structure trades, which I've also just gone through as well. And if it doesn't happen in London, it's likely to then come in and happen in New York. So any questions on all of that? And just to say, so the live morning calls will be every single morning starting Thursday, 7:30 to 8 a.m. on the website. You can go through, and also when you join, you get access to all previous calls as well. They go all the way back to when we first started these in March of 2023. You get access to all of these immediately as well. Obviously, you can ask questions. We'll go through a lot more questions, and I'll answer a lot more things on the calls when they start. So someone's put, do I enter on the tap or after confirmation? What's the most common that I use? So normally first thing in the morning is that I'll go wait for lower time frame confirmation. Let's say that's as an example, let's say for an Asia range fill, what I'd be looking for if I was going for the trade is I'd go down to the 1 minute time frame, and then I'd look to see in London, have we got a break structure? Now at the moment, you will see that we are currently on the line. We are still waiting for London to open. So at the moment, the structure point that we would have to break is where we are now currently. I mean, we have a few to the left, but we're still in Asia, right? So what I would want to see is in London is price breaking this area, pull back to then look to take my long position. If we have a snap, so the trade that I was talking about on EG, come back to this. So let's say we have a snap to the low like this, and that leaves behind an OB and imbalance in and around this area, then I would then go on a tap when price comes back to that to then come down, as long as I can cover those highs. Salah's put, should we pay for the live morning calls or will it be every morning for free? Unfortunately, you have to pay for the live morning calls, but like say, you get to see me and you get to trade with the Academy every single morning. Start your day off right, get your analysis right, get your areas right, and it will massively help excel your trading. Cool. So before I go, any other questions from anybody? I appreciate you all joining. Gold. Should I do a quick gold? Yeah, let's do a quick gold. All right. Let's have a look. Okay. So easy trade. Right. Now, gold has been moving nicely. So if I just show you this, so we've had our, I'm going to keep this quick, right? We originally had our session high that we were respecting. The OB left behind in Asia. We did get a break of structure in this area, and then price plummeted down to our session low. Now, where are we at, right? We've come back up into this area. Now, my view is we're probably going to snap this area to the highs. Gold has been moving really, really nicely, actually. And you can see that we have been respecting our areas to the low, retest and then move higher. We just missed this area here, but again, on the this is the type of move I'm on about. On the basis that we've had the break, the snap to the high, when price comes back, you can just go in this on the tap. So this is what I mean. It's a perfect example of when we snap to the high, prices come back down, you can go in on the tap, and then obviously you want to be targeting the high as well to get that max gain. Now, so on the basis that we're coming back up to session high, the more times we tap it, the weaker it becomes. So let's just move on to the higher time frame to see what's what. Let's go weekly. Okay, so everyone should know my view on gold. I do think eventually we're going to absolutely snap to the downside, break, and then come all the way back down to these lows around 1700 psychological level. And again, so this is the weekly. The first time we were up here was August 20, retested again a massive rejection March 22, came up again in May 23, and we are again hovering in that area. And you can see exactly where we've closed. So even though I'm looking for the bullish move on the intraday at the moment, I do believe at some point we are going to have the snap to the low. So how would you trade it? Right? I would be doing the same thing that happened with this long position. I would first of all be looking for a snap of these lows. Right, we have a structure point here, structure point here, structure point here. I'd be looking for a snap, pull back to then take price to the downside. That would be option one. The only thing I would be a bit cautious about if we broke for then the pullback here is we do have an OB right there. We've got another one right here as well. We may just come down and retest one of these areas. So actually, because gold is so volatile, I would look for the most obvious, which is this one right here. And then on the basis that we've already made that higher high, 75% chance of a higher low. So price coming to this and then looking for the move higher. That's what I would do. So for the short, we would have to snap that area for then the retest. For the long position, you'd look for your lower time frame confirmation for the bounce to move higher. Yeah, that makes sense. Hang on, let me look at the thing. Are you doing a morning call tomorrow before? No, this is the only bonus morning call that I'm doing, and then they're going to start properly on Thursday morning. Cool. So I'm going to leave it there. Hang on a second. Let me stop sharing my screen. And let me see if I can get everyone on my screen for a second. Gallery. Perfect. Right. I'm going to, okay, take a quick video. Thank you everyone for joining the morning call. Really appreciate it. I hope it's helped massively, and I hope to see a lot of you on the official morning calls starting on Thursday. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see the rest of you in the Discord and then Thursday morning. Cheers, guys. Take care.